Wei is 53 years old. He sits at the void deck of his Bedok HDB on a Tuesday evening, holding his phone. His CPF statement is open. He has been staring at the same number for 11 minutes. He earns 8,000 Singapore dollars a month. He has worked for 27 years without a gap. His flat is paid up. His kids are grown. By every measure, a Singaporean man in his early 50s is supposed to use, he has done the work. The number says his CPF LIFE payout at 65 will be $1,780 a month. He closes the app, opens WhatsApp. His friend Raymond retired early, moved to Penang 18 months ago. Raymond's last message: Kopi tarik, 2 Malaysian ringgit. Char kway teow, 4 ringgit. 2-bedroom apartment in Georgetown, 2,500 ringgit a month. Raymond says 3,000 Singapore dollars there is a completely different life. Wei's colleague Amira has a school friend in Chiang Mai. Bowl of khao soi, 40 Thai baht. 1-bedroom serviced apartment in Nimman, 14,000 baht. Total monthly spend, under 1,000 Singapore dollars. Wei closes WhatsApp and looks at the car park. He's not wrong to feel that pull. But he's making this comparison with the social media version of those places, not the real one. This video is the real one. Start with Singapore. Because before you understand why Raymond left, you need to understand exactly what Wei is leaving behind and what he is not. Wei's $3,000 a month. Does it work here? The answer depends entirely on one thing: whether he owns his flat. He does. Paid up. That changes everything. 3,000 Singapore dollars a month with a fully paid HDB breaks down like this. Food at the hawker center. Chicken rice for $5, kopi C for $1.20. 3 meals a day across a full month comes to about $525. Transport by MRT and the occasional Grab, $130. Utilities, phone, internet, $180. Healthcare. MediShield Life Base plus an integrated shield plan to cover private or A-ward hospitalization, roughly $350 a month, rising every year as he ages. HDB maintenance, town council fees, property tax at owner-occupier rates, $120. Personal spending, clothes, a proper dinner out twice a month, $300. Total, $1,605 a month. He has $1,395 left. Every month. That is the ang pao for the grandchildren. The trip to Bangkok in March. The buffer when something breaks. 3,000 a month in Singapore, with no rent, is a real life. Not aspirational, genuinely comfortable. Now here is the problem, and it is not Wei's problem. It is the problem of the majority of people watching this video right now. Only half of active CPF members reach the full retirement sum in cash by 55. The CPF LIFE payout at the full retirement sum is $1,780 a month from 65. That is the number that sits on the screen and looks like a plan. Against the SingLife Financial Freedom Index, finding that Singaporeans themselves say they need $2,856 a month for a comfortable retirement, that CPF LIFE payout leaves a gap of more than $1,000 every single month for the rest of their lives. Wei hit the full retirement sum. Most of his colleagues did not. They are watching this video too. Wei also wants to retire at 64. CPF LIFE does not begin until 65. That is 12 months where he needs every dollar of living expenses to come from somewhere else. At his spending level, that is $19,200 in liquid savings before his retirement can begin. Not a target, the minimum. Here is the calculation everyone needs to run before anything else. Log in to cpf.gov.sg, open the retirement dashboard, find the projected payout. Then subtract that number from your expected monthly expenses. Multiply the gap by the number of months between when you want to stop working and when you turn 65. That is your bridge number. Most people have never calculated it. Most people are shocked when they do. But there is a second number sitting inside Way's retirement that is far more dangerous than the CPF gap, and it has nothing to do with how much he has saved. CareShield Life. He pays the premiums automatically from MediSave. He has never had to think about it, so he never has. In 2026, CareShield Life pays 689 Singapore dollars a month if he becomes severely disabled, unable to perform 3 of the 6 basic activities of daily living: a stroke, severe dementia, advanced Parkinson's. These are not edge cases. 1 in 2 Singapore residents will develop severe disability at some point in their lifetime. That number is from the CPF board itself. The average monthly cost of actual long-term care in Singapore in 2026 is $2,952. $689 against $2,952. The gap is $2,263. Every month, for however many years it lasts. At $3,000 a month in total income, a severe disability event does not tighten the budget. It ends the retirement. Most people understand what an integrated shield plan covers: hospitalization, surgery, the acute event. What most people do not realize is that the IP covers the operation. It does not cover the decade that may follow it. Long-term residential care, a full-time live-in helper, ongoing home nursing. None of that is inside a standard IP. It requires a CareShield Life supplement bought from a private insurer before a condition appears. After a diagnosis, the window closes. A supplement from NTUC Income, Great Eastern or Sing Life adds between 60 and 150 Singapore dollars a month to premiums in the early 50s. That is the price. Bought this year, it locks in coverage before the medical history changes. Go to MOH Health Hub now, log in with SingPass, pull your own IP policy details, and find specifically what it covers for long-term care versus acute hospitalization. Those are 2 completely different sections. Most people have never looked at the second one. That is the action before this conversation leaves your memory. Now Raymond, Penang. Raymond is 55. He left Singapore 18 months ago. 2-bedroom service apartment in Georgetown, 2,500 Malaysian ringgit a month. At current exchange rates, 750 Singapore dollars. Food in Penang does things to a budget. Char kway teow at 4 ringgit. Kopi tarik at 2 ringgit. A full day of eating at Georgetown hawkers, breakfast, lunch, dinner, runs about 25 ringgit. That is under 8 Singapore dollars. Raymond's total monthly food bill, 200 Singapore dollars, and he eats better than he did in Singapore. Transport. He bought a used Proton for 16,000 Singapore dollars. No COE. His total monthly spend: rent, 750, food, 200, car running costs, 120, utilities, 60, and private health insurance for a foreigner with no Malaysian public healthcare access, 250 Singapore dollars a month, rising after 60. Raymond's total, 1,380 Singapore dollars a month. 3,000 Singapore dollars in Penang leaves him $1,620 every month that does not get spent. He flies back to Singapore every 2 months to see his daughters and eat at Lau Pa Sat. He does not feel poor. He feels free. This is real. Raymond is not exaggerating. But here is what Raymond never puts in the group chat. He watches the exchange rate every morning. because he has to. From 2015 to 2025, the Malaysian ringgit depreciated by roughly 30% against the Singapore dollar. 30%. Raymond's rent is fixed in ringgit. His food is priced in ringgit. His car, his utilities, his daily life, all ringgit. When the Singapore dollar strengthens, his life gets cheaper. When the ringgit recovers, every expense in that budget edges upward, without his lifestyle changing by a single plate of char kway teow. On a $1,400 monthly expense base, a 30% currency shift over 10 years adds 420 Singapore dollars a month to what it costs him to live the same life, without a pay rise, without upgrading anything. Raymond knows this. He does not advertise it because the Penang life is still better than what he had. But the invisible variable in every overseas retirement conversation is the exchange rate. Nobody leads with it. This video is leading with it. Before any decision about Malaysia, go to mas.gov.sg, find the historical SGD to MYR exchange rates, and pull the last 15 years. Look at the weakest point for the ringgit in that window. Model your Penang monthly expenses at that rate. If the answer is still comfortable, if you are spending under 60% of your monthly income, even at the worst exchange rate in 15 years, Penang works. If the answer requires you to cut food or move to a smaller apartment just to survive a bad rate cycle, the risk is not priced in your plan. Now Priya, Chiang Mai. Priya is 50. She left Singapore 3 years ago. She rents a one-bedroom serviced apartment in Niman, the area where the cafes are, where the Saturday market happens, for 14,000 Thai baht a month. That is approximately 540 Singapore dollars. A bowl of khao soi at a local restaurant, 40 baht, $1.50 Singapore cents. 3 full meals a day from local restaurants and markets, about 200 baht, under 8 Singapore dollars. Her total monthly food spend, 200 Singapore dollars, and she has not eaten worse than she did at Bedok Food Centre. She has eaten better. Scooter rental, 1,500 baht, 60 Singapore dollars. Utilities and internet, 1,500 baht. Private health insurance for a 50-year-old foreigner in Thailand, 120 Singapore dollars a month. Priya's total monthly spend in Chiang Mai, 920 Singapore dollars. 3,000 Singapore dollars in Chiang Mai is not a retirement budget. It is a different category of life entirely. She has a cleaner 3 times a week. Daily yoga at a studio that charges 20 Singapore dollars for unlimited monthly classes. Quarterly trips to Bangkok by train, 900 baht, 35 Singapore dollars return. She has more money left at the end of every month than she spent on rent in Singapore. This is also real. And it is the version of this video that most people will screenshot and send to their friends in a group chat. But Priya is not yet 72. And here is what happens at 72. Thailand's retirement visa requires 800,000 baht, approximately 30,000 Singapore dollars, sitting permanently in a Thai bank account, earning effectively nothing. The rules around this have changed multiple times in the past decade. The long-term resident visa, introduced in 2022, requires passive income of at least 80,000 US dollars a year, roughly 108,000 Singapore dollars, which is not the profile of a median income Singaporean retiree. Most Singaporeans in Chiang Mai are on annual retirement visas that require renewal, a border run, or a visit to immigration every 12 months. The rules have changed before. They can change again. More importantly, there is no CPF equivalent in Thailand. No MediShield Life. If Priya has a stroke at 72, Bangkok Hospital Chiang Mai is good. It is not Singapore General. And the bill, while low by Singapore standards, is paid entirely out of pocket unless she has private insurance, which gets substantially more expensive after 65 and may exclude pre-existing conditions that develop during her years in Thailand. Most Singaporeans who retire in Chiang Mai are not planning to die there. They are planning to live well there while their body is cooperating and return to Singapore when it is not. That is a legitimate plan. But it is only a plan if the Singapore anchor is still intact when they need it. CPF Life still running at 65. MediShield Life still active for a non-resident Singapore citizen. The family member still in Singapore who can receive them when the flight lands at Changi. Before any decision about Thailand, write down your Singapore anchor, your projected CPF Life payout, your MediShield Life status as a non-resident, whether your IP covers hospitalization in Singapore on return, whether someone in Singapore can manage the CPF paperwork when things get complicated. These are not bureaucratic details. They are the load-bearing structure of the plan. Build them before you pack. Wei puts his phone down and looks up at the HDB block above him. He has been comparing 3 places. He has actually been comparing 3 different answers to one question. Not which country is cheapest. That answer is obvious. That is not the right question. The right question is, what happens at 73 when the plan meets something it was not built for? In Singapore, at $3,000 a month with a paid-up HDB, that answer is solid. If Wei has closed 2 gaps he has never looked at. The bridge money for the 12 months before CPF Life begins, and the CareShield Life supplement for the gap between $689 and $2,952. In Penang, that answer has a ringgit in it, a rate Wei cannot set and cannot predict. In Chiang Mai, that answer depends on a Singapore anchor he has to actively maintain from a country that does not know his name. None of these is wrong. They are 3 different trades with 3 different floors. Wei's floor in Singapore is the highest. His lifestyle in Chiang Mai would be the best. His risk in Penang sits somewhere between the 2. What he cannot do is choose without knowing where the floor is. He has not opened an SRS account. He is 53, $8,000 a month, 19.5% income tax bracket. The supplementary retirement scheme allows him to contribute 15,300 Singapore dollars a year, every dollar reducing his taxable income by $1. Every year he contributes the maximum, 2,985 Singapore dollars goes to him instead of IRAS. He can put that money directly into CSPX, the Irish domiciled S&P 500 ETF. 15% dividend withholding instead of 30. No US estate tax risk for a Singapore citizen. 12 years of 15,300 invested in CSPX at 7% average annual returns compounds to approximately 288,000 Singapore dollars. $288,000 Wei is currently building for IRAS instead of himself. He gets to choose which one. There is one deadline he cannot miss. From the 1st of July 2026, Singapore's statutory retirement age moves from 63 to 64. The penalty-free withdrawal age for SRS is locked to the retirement age at the moment of the first contribution. $1 into an SRS account before the 1st of July locks Wei's withdrawal age at 63, not 64. 1 extra year of access to his own money, $1. Open DBS or OCBC or UOB on the phone. Tap SRS, 20 minutes, done. After the 1st of July, that door closes. Wei stands up from the void deck bench. He's not moving to Penang. He's not moving to Chiang Mai. He already has the thing both Raymond and Priya had to leave Singapore to find. A paid-up flat. a safety net that does not require a currency conversion, and a healthcare system that knows what to do with a stroke at 72. What he has been missing is not a country. It is 2 decisions he has been postponing. The CareShield Life supplement that closes a $2,263 monthly gap, and the SRS account that turns tax money into $288,000 of retirement capital. Both decisions take less time than he spent staring at the void deck tonight. The floor was always here. He just had not built it yet. $3,000 a month. 3 countries. The country matters less than you think. The floor matters more than you know. Which risk are you actually carrying right now? And have you ever properly looked at what happens when the plan hits 73? If this video showed you a number you did not have before, hit like and subscribe. The next one goes straight into how to close the gap, wherever you end up living.